Hello, everybody. Back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Thursday, the 18th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Woke up this morning fairly early, 7 o'clock in the morning, where it was and stuff. I was up pretty late again. I don't sleep a lot as it is, and then here I wake up, curtains are open, sun's up, I'm up. So got up, looked out, I was like, that's kind of a strange look. Didn't really, there's no view of the mountains or nothing out. I was like, that's strange. So I looked out the window a little closer and realized it is fogged in. Like, it is so crazy dense fog. So I went ahead and got a couple things, grabbed a donut, actually grabbed two, and then some chocolate milk and that, headed out here on the patio, enjoyed my donut, my chocolate milk, and then decided to have myself a cigar. And from where you sit on this upper deck, it's like a second story deck, the cabin we're in, you drop down on, it's probably 40 feet or so down to where the little garden was, and there's some trees there. So it's probably 40 feet away and 40 feet down kind of thing. And there's this beautiful burgundy, almost reddish purple colored trees and stuff are there, stunning. And I could barely see those trees right there. That's how dense the fog was. It was so thick. When I first popped the door open to open up to go on the patio, and the door makes some noise, it comes out, and 5 deer took off running out of the yard. Like they were just right here, and the fog probably made them feel safer kind of thing. They felt like there's nobody around. But this cabin doesn't get used a lot, so probably they think there's a lot safer area being up here eating the flowers out of the garden, which is a very nice delicacy for them. So, but they ran off, and then I was watching the fog, and I was just like, it is so foggy, like it's great, gross. And I kept kind of thinking in my head, I'm like, God, I hope my wife doesn't wake up and say her leg hurts so bad that we have to go home today, because I really don't want to drive home in the fog, because it's a pain in the butt. And I know it'll burn off by noon, but that's still 5 hours of driving in the fog is going to suck. So, and some of the roads up here in the mountain stuff are already kind of a little sketchy as it is, and then you add the fog to it, becomes a pain in the butt. So, but I hung around here, watched some YouTube, finished my cigars, or finished my donuts, got to my cigar, and just kind of hanging out here, watching the fog slowly burn off. It was taking a while, but it finally eventually kind of cleared off some that wasn't great. You couldn't see the lake, but you could see a few trees out. And then as it kept getting a little bit better and a little better as it went, and then it kept a heavy fog. I can really never see the lake. Wife got up and she said her leg was feeling a little better and did not want to go home. And I'm like, okay, whatever works for you. I'm 100% whatever you need, we will do. So she decided today there was a little sign. She kept seeing a sign saying Tammy's Ice Cream and Gift Shop and that we never went that direction. We'd see the sign, we turn back up to go to the cabin, and she wanted to go that way. And I'm like, 100%, let's do that. So we got in the car, we headed over there, and I don't know if she was planning on having ice cream for breakfast or if it was just kind of somewhere to go. So we head down there and we drive, and we follow the signs, get there, and it's not open except like I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. So apparently a lot of the place around here, it must be very heavy touristy, going, because most things open Thursday through Sunday or Friday through Sunday. They're not open all week. So I think some open up a little more, like Memorial Day through like October. They are open a little more, but they're not open this time of year. So I was like, okay, no big deal. So we got there, it wasn't open. So it's like, oh, that kind of sucks. And we kind of looked around, like, oh, whatever. So let's just keep driving that way. So we just kept driving and kept driving. Ended up in Tennessee and stuff, and just kind of driving wherever. Didn't really matter. And we were just driving along, and I saw a sign, something other falls, whatever. A lot of names I can't remember. It's a lot of Indian names up here. And headed down the road to the falls, and we're driving along. And I get there, and there's like a weird billboard sign, like one of those construction signs that has something about detour and something not, but like 35% of the balls were not. I couldn't fully read the sign. It didn't make sense what it said. So we're driving along and stuff. And then we get there and it says road closed and stuff. And you can go left to right. And the detour says go right. So I turn right on that detour, and it is a sketchy, like it's a log road. I mean, it's pretty bad already. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, that don't make sense. So I was like, I give up on this. And I realized when I saw the sign was blocked, the sign I couldn't hardly read before, my brain flight processed what it was. And it had said, detour does not take you to the falls. I'm like, that's what that said. So I turned back around, went back over, and there was like a ranger station for the national park. Went there, waited around forever. They're on the phone and doing whatever and stuff, flying off the phone. I'm like, is there any way of getting to the falls? It's absolutely not. Not only can you not drive there, you can't walk or bike there either. I know it was like 5.6 miles left, so I wasn't gonna walk in, especially my wife's leg hurting like it was. I wasn't gonna walk 11 miles, or run 11 miles round trip to see this fall. And it's like 125-foot fall. It's a beautiful spot, and apparently it's one of the few waterfalls around here you can actually drive to, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we headed back out, just driving around, just enjoying ourselves. We saw a couple like lookout spots on something Skyway, whatever we was at. So we were driving along there, and we were in that time frame. She's like, let's go get something to eat. Let's go get. She wanted to do barbecue tonight, so I'm like, okay. So we headed back, and it was that weird time frame of like what time we were gonna be getting there, and it was gonna be like 3 o'clock, like 3:20, whatever. I'm like, well, 3:20 is kind of a shitty time to get to a barbecue place, because it's that weird lunch to dinner and who knows what it is and stuff. And kind of a lot of times they're pretty someone will shut the kitchens down at that times and whatnot. So I'm like, hey, let's just stop here. And she'd mentioned stopping by the river and just kind of smoking a cigar and stuff and whatever. Because that's one of the things I'd said I wanted to do in Cabira. I wanted to find just a little waterfall, a little creek by the edge of some road somewhere, which over by Blowing Rock, North Carolina, where we usually go for our timeshare in the fall, there's like almost every 4 or 5 miles, there's another little waterfall coming off the edge of the mountain that runs underneath the road right there, little culvert and stuff. So you can just pull over and look at these gorgeous little waterfalls all over the place. Not the giant, massive waterfalls, which there's those too, but these are just simple, no one else around, and barely see cars and stuff and whatnot. So I was like, okay, so we drove all the way up there and stuff, ended up going to that spot where the waterfall was that we couldn't get to, and they said there was a lake on up a ways, like another 11 miles up the road. It's a really beautiful lake. I'm like, okay, let's go up there. So we drove up to it and got to the lake, and it was not that pretty. It was not that pretty, and it was $3 just to, like, if you're staying there, it was $3, which I don't care about $3, but I'm like, this is not, there's much better sights than this. So, and no moving water, no sounds, no nothing, and there's little kids in there swimming and whatnot and yelling, and I didn't want to listen to little kids screaming yell. I had a cigar, so we headed back and just kind of driving along, and it was that weird time frame of, like I said, get back to the restaurant like 3:20. So we pull over at one of the little lookout spots, and it's got like a retaining wall and stuff. So we set our chairs out, and there's like no shade anywhere, but there's a beautiful waterfall. The river's right there. It's just, and by waterfall I mean rippling water, like little white water rapid thing stuff, but it's probably, I don't know, 60 feet wide or so, and it's just maybe 8 inches deep, but it's just beautiful sound in that. But it's right on the side of the road, like, and there's a lot of motorcycles, a lot of cars going by and making a lot of noise and stuff, and I was like, this wasn't that enjoyable. And now it's like 86 degrees and there's no shade, and I'm like, this sucks, let's just head on back. So we sat there like 21 minutes, always sit there in our lawn chairs, which we packed our lawn chairs for that purpose, to like set. I was hoping to find like a little creek bed somewhere, like we could pull over. Like we saw that guy with the Toyota truck that was like where we didn't want to drive the car across because she was afraid we get stuck or get swallowed up by the water, get in the water in the intake, kind of ruin my car. So that would have been a great spot. We could have went and parked our lawn chair in the water, put our feet in the water and stuff, enjoyed the nice cool water on our feet, and there was plenty of shade there. But we didn't at that time. We had other things we were doing that day. So, and it was far enough back in that road, I wasn't going to drive way back there. Just trying to. I was probably an hour and a half away for that. So we sat there for 21 minutes, and I said, screw it, let's just go. So we headed on down, and then like 3 miles later, came across a spot that would have been much more enjoyable. Had some picnic tables, had some shade, and I was like, whatever. So we drove on back, and then we were just kind of chilling out, taking our time. And then we got here, we stopped by a Walmart, and I wanted to buy some sunglasses because I lost my sunglasses 2 days ago after my run. I don't know how I lost them, but I lost my sunglasses. So went ahead and went in there and bought a couple pair of sunglasses for myself because neither one was really happy with. They weren't great, but they're $15 a piece. Who cares? And then I bought a pair for my wife that clip on her glasses like this, they have the spring they clip over top, because her glasses, she didn't get photo gray again, which I thought she should have, but she didn't when she bought her new glasses. So I went ahead and bought those as well, and then we headed from there over to there's a running trail over there in Murphy, over by Downtown Pizza, whatever. And I ran there a few days ago, and this time I went the opposite direction. So I parked her in front of the business, the same spot she parked last time. I had her sitting there in the car, and I'm like, there's art gallery open, this color places, but she didn't want to walk around our lake, which made sense. So she sat right there, and then I headed down to the trail and went the opposite direction as I went the first time. And it runs down through. It's beautiful little scenery, level like benches and actually like porch swings and stuff set up out in the woods, and that which was really cool. And saw a turtle in the water, saw some fish and stuff, had a beautiful run, ran all the way down, crossed the river on a bridge that went over by like the youth sports fields, baseball fields and stuff and whatnot. Ran around there, came back, and it was pretty warm, it was pretty hot. And so I got back to the car, and I was like kind of sweaty, so I got the AC cranked up full blast. And then from there we headed over to the barbecue joint, pull up their stuff, and it's a place just called like Ribs. I'm not sure the hell the name of the place was now, actually, but it was just whatever. So we just ourselves looked at the menu, trying to figure out what we wanted, and decided to split a #1 combo, which had like a rack of ribs, some pulled pork, some French fries, and some beans. And I told her I said, and Texas toast. And I'm like, if we want more, we can always order more. And it's like $25 for that, which I don't care about that part, really. It's not that bad. But I'm not a giant eater when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I'm like, why don't we just order this? And then if we think it's not enough, halfway through, if we think we're going to be hungry, we'll order another thing. Or we will say to hell with it, and we will just get ice cream or something at home. And we were eating it, and we ended up leaving some food on the plate. Even between the two of us eating that one meal, it was more food than we really wanted to eat, so we were full. And then the lady asked for our desserts, and Karen thought about it for a minute. She goes, "Now we're just gonna skip it." So, got her bill, went ahead and paid out and stuff, headed out, and then on the way home, I said, "Are you looking for ice cream per se? Like we need to punch it into the computer or on the GPS, or are we just gonna if we see it on the way?" She goes, "If we see it on the way, we'll stop getting ice cream. If not, no big deal." And I thought there was an ice cream place on the way, but over by the Waffle King, and there wasn't. I looked and didn't see it. So from there, we headed back and got back to the house. And just as we were coming to the house, there was a spot where you kind of turn off to come not quite to the roads, but close to our private roads back up in here to the property. And I thought, well, maybe that'll lead us down to a spot by the lake or whatever. And it doesn't. It dead ends at a cemetery. It kind of ends out there. So we drove up around the cemetery. And as I drove the loop around the cemetery, come back out, I picked up something that my car was dragging. And I was like, oh, crap. It was like rubbing on the blacktop. Once I got back on the blacktop, and it was dragging. I'm like, oh, God damn it. And then I had the concern, like, it sounded like a piece of wire. And I'm like, if it's a big chunk of heavy duty wire, like from fencing or something, and if it was to come dislodged, it could easily flip underneath, jam up, and poke a hole in the gas tank or God knows whatever. So I pulled over, looked underneath, and I could see where it was, but it was so far underneath the car, I couldn't reach it. Like, I couldn't, because the car's low. It's a Focus. Like, it's a tiny little car. I couldn't reach it from either side, and I was like, screw it. And I'm like, it shouldn't be that bad. I'll just drive slowly, and if I hear it stop dragging, I'll slam my brakes on real quick, hoping it doesn't bounce up underneath the car. So as we were driving back, it was not very far till we turn off onto our road. It becomes private road, and it's really like rough there. Like, it's a big drop off and stuff from the blacktop to the rock, the dirt roads and stuff. And as I drove off sideways onto it and left my passenger side tires up on the blacktop of the road and let my driver's side droop way down. So there's like a big gap, like a big valley there. Gave me room to see, and I could see it, but I couldn't reach it. I'm like underneath it from both sides, and I'm like, God, I can't reach the damn thing. It wasn't a pain in the butt. And then I went ahead and actually used her walking stick that we bought a couple days ago over in Helen, Georgia, and I actually had used the walking stick to knock it loose and got that chunk out of there. So got that off out of the way, so I wouldn't have to worry about it again. So then we drove back, luckily not dragging anything at that point, so that made it feel pretty good. So we got back here to the house, basically driving up a sketchy ass road and stuff. It was still daylight, so it wasn't a big deal there. Got here, decided to do some laundry, so we went ahead and loaded up the washing machine, and I jumped in the shower and then headed back outside here and just chilling out on the patio, checking on her to the leg. I said, "Do you want to go home? You want to go home tonight? Do you want to go home tomorrow?" She's thinking she's going to push off till Saturday, go home Saturday, she's thinking. But today she realized, she thinks she knows why her leg hurts damn bad. She kind of forgotten. She told me, but I didn't know anything about it. She fell out of her chair reaching for some stuff. And when she fell on the floor, she landed flat on both knees. And then she freaked out because of her knee surgery that made her nervous. But that knee didn't get hurt that bad. We think she actually probably pulled something, or maybe even gave herself a minor, hairline fracture or something in that leg. And I'm like, oh my God, she told me about it, and she fell Friday. We left Saturday for up here, which we even, kind of talked about stuff, and her leg didn't really start hurting until a couple days ago. Over at Helen, she noticed it was hurting quite a bit walking around Helen, Georgia, and all those little shops and stuff, which we did a few stairs, but not a lot, and we didn't walk that much per se. And then yesterday we walked that mile, almost a mile, down to that dam and back and stuff, but she just walked super slow, had her walking stick, so it wasn't a big deal, but it was hurting her more today. But then she realized that she'd fallen Friday, and then she's like, oh shit, that's probably what's causing this pain, So I'm like, do you want to get x-rays? And she goes, no, I'm good, so I don't need to get x-rays right now. So she's just been taking it easy here at the house, and I've been out here watching YouTube and smoking a cigar, and then heading back in, probably watching another episode of Good Doctor, and call it a night. So that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.